All right. We ready, Zoom master? Is it okay to start or? Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's 6:01 p.m. Welcome to the Morgan Hill Unified School District Board of Education regular meeting in person via Zoom. Calling us to order and inviting my colleague, Trustee Marquez, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Clerk Marquez, sorry.
Begin. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We'll move on to introductions. I'll start with Assistant Superintendent Tavares.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Diana Tavares, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kamara Chang. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Good evening. Buenas noches. Diana Jimenez, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services.
Good evening. Sorry, my voice, but Rebecca Munson, Trustee Area 6.
Happy Friday, Junior. Veronica Andrade, Trustee Area 7, and the USA game starts at 7.
Good evening, Claudia Estrada, Executive Assistant to the Superintendent.
Good evening, Carmen Garcia, Superintendent. I'd like to address our Spanish-speaking community. Miembros de nuestra comunidad de habla hispana, si quieren traducción simultánea, por favor hagan clic en el icono del mundo debajo de la pantalla. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Good evening again, everyone. John Horner, Board President.
Good evening, Jennifer Marquez, Trustee and Board Clerk.
Good evening, welcome, Pamela Gardner, Trustee Area 4.
Welcome, everyone. Nancy Altman, Trustee.
Thank you all very much. And then, sorry? Yeah, Vice President Northrop Gaddis is with us via Zoom. So we're not going to go back and forth. We'll get to hear from her a lot because we have a remote participant while she's on vacation and in the middle of the night where she is. But all of our votes will have to be by roll call. So we'll move on to adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Trustee Andrade. Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Clerk Marquez. Please call the roll.
President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis,
Aye. Aye.
There we go. Got you. Thanks.
Board Clerk Marquez,
Aye.
Trustee Altman, Trustee Gardner,
Aye.
Trustee Andrade,
Aye.
Trustee Munson.
So was that present and I?
Aye. Yeah, so that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Move to Section E, closed session action report. By a vote of 7-0, the board appointed Dr. Rafael Zavala Jr. as the new principal of PA Walsh STEAM Academy. We'll welcome Dr. Zavala to the podium and staff to make an introduction and say a few words. I think Assistant Superintendent Tavares, you're up for intro.
Yes.
She gives good intro, so it'll be worth it.
Okay. Well, we are pleased to welcome Dr. Rafael Zavala as the new principal to PA Walsh STEAM Academy. Dr. Zavala is excited to join the vibrant PA Walsh community and is honored to be selected as a new principal in the Morgan Hill Unified School District. As a child of immigrant farm workers from the Salinas Valley, Dr. Zavala's passion for education comes from his ardent belief that education transforms lives. Bringing 24 years of public school service as a dual immersion teacher, TOSA, teacher on special assignment, vice principal, principal, and student services district administrator, Dr. Zavala has tirelessly worked to build powerful spaces and places for students to thrive socially, emotionally, and academically. Working as a site-level and district-level administrator, Dr. Zavala established robust support systems for students, following positive behavioral interventions and supports, multi-tiered systems of supports, and professional learning communities' data-driven frameworks to ensure all students had access to an equitable education. In collaboration with PBIS developers, his schools were showcased in a study on integrated mental health models and received medals from the California PBIS Coalition for PBIS implementation, while also achieving academic gains on California dashboard and decreases in suspension rates. Dr. Zavala's drive to, quote, move the needle, end quote, is deeply grounded in his belief that all students can and will succeed when provided with high-quality Tier 1 instruction and acceleration techniques that scaffold and support content learning. He looks forward to working with PA Walsh community to ensure that our students are equipped for college, career, and beyond, with an exclamation point. In his spare time, Dr. Zavala enjoys a good book, a murder mystery, or a hike in the forest. He is blessed with a daughter and a spouse who share his, quote, foodie, end quote, interest in finding the most delicious donuts. With that, I give you Dr. Zavala.
You'll be remembered as the donut guy. Please.
And we found some really good ones in Seattle. I'm so excited.
Is that on?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes,
I am so excited to be here tonight. And thank you so much for your confidence in me. And quite honestly, I love this community. When, I've come around and visited, it's just so close to family and to home. And that is literally why Morgan Hill is the most amazing district in California, I believe. So I am very blessed to be here. And I'm looking forward to working with our staff at PA Walsh and our students and our community to ensure that all students receive the care and education that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you very much and welcome. All right, we're now on F1, approval of the minutes from the meeting of June 11th, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve said minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Trustee Andrade. Do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Trustee Altman. Please call the roll.
President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis,
Aye. Aye.
Board Clerk Marquez,
Aye.
Trustee Altman,
Aye.
Trustee Gardner, Trustee Andrade,
Aye.
Trustee Munson.
We're getting good at this, so let's do it again here. So the next item is approval of minutes from the Board of Education special meeting, board retreat on June 8th.
I motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Altman, were you you want the second, or do you have a comment?
No, I don't want, I wanted the first, but I will make the second.
Okay, thank you. Please call the roll.
President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis,
Aye. Aye.
Board Clerk Marquez,
Aye.
Trustee Altman,
Aye.
Trustee Gardner,
Aye.
Trustee Andrade,
Aye.
Trustee Munson.
Thank you. That motion carries unanimously. We're now on the G section, public comment. Members of the public may address the board on topics not listed on the agenda during this section. The board may not discuss issues raised not listed on the agenda. Topics not on the agenda brought to the board's attention may be investigated by the administration or a report made to the board publicly or privately as appropriately. Comments shall not exceed 3 minutes. I have 2 requests by Zoom. The first from Courtney McMains.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you. Can you hear me?
We hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Courtney McMains. I'm an assistant TK teacher at Nordstrom Elementary. I'm addressing the board tonight regarding the future of the TK program at MHUSD. This week, our union leadership presented TK staff with a side letter detailing changes to be made to the TK program beginning 27-28 school year. The side letter dismantles the current program in which TK classrooms with 11 to 20 students have an assistant teacher as the second adult in the classroom. The side letter would implement replacing TK assistant teachers with paraprofessionals once a classroom reaches 11 students. With these changes, approximately 5+ TK assistant teachers will be hired this year for a limited 1-year term and then let go. Those positions will then be filled with paraprofessionals. An additional 10 to 12 assistant TK teachers who are at probationary 2 status could be let go as well, not because they are not qualified caring professionals that do their job well, but because the district is attempting to lessen the hemorrhaging budget crisis. From the inception of the Universal TK program at Morgan Hill Unified School District had a vision for what the program could actually be by creating the position of assistant TK teacher. The position was thoughtfully created with the requirements of candidates minimally having an associate's degree, 6 early childhood education units, and an assistant child development permit through the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing. These additional requirements ensured that the program would be staffed with professionals that were invested in the education process of those first entering our school program. Additionally, the job description was thoughtfully and deliberately crafted to allow for the seamless partnership between teachers and their assistant teachers. These jobs include but are not limited to assisting the teacher, or assisting with teaching, preparing lessons, assessing students, and communicating with families. I had firsthand knowledge of this because I worked in the Human Resources Department when the position was created and the job description was written. None of these duties can be performed by paraprofessionals. MHUSD now plans to strip what makes our program so special. Instead of being leaders in this program, we are settling for the status quo. This has been and can continue to be a program that attracts families to the community by providing this unparalleled opportunity for our transitional kindergarten students. Thank you for listening to this important matter regarding the future of TK and the devastating impact the side letter will have to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for taking your time to share your views with us. Next, we have Victor Ontoria. On Zoom? Okay, seeing he's not there, we will move on to our next communications item, H1, Superintendent Report. Oh, your time's up. No.
Thank you very much, President Horner. I have a very brief report. Want to give a tremendous shout out to our dedicated staff and administrators who are currently staffing our summer school program. So these are some pictures of our phenomenal students in action. So these are pictures at Bear Elementary. That's where we have our elementary program, K-8 program. And our high school program is currently being held at Central High School. In addition to the high school program, the high school credit recovery program, we also have the youth cinema project. You see the pictures at the top. We'll be sending out an invitation for sometime in mid-July, maybe a little bit later than that. You'll get to see some of their work, their final work. We're hoping to showcase their work at the Britain Student Union, so we'll make sure to send that information widely. And in the bottom left picture, I'm taking my time to describe this because I think this is absolutely wonderful. This is an inaugural program of 8th graders. So they're all rising 9th graders, and they're getting an IM1, a pre-IM1 preview. So we're trying to provide them support as right before they enter high school. And so I saw a lot of engagement. It's too bad. I actually took a picture of the panorama. I don't know why it didn't come out. Anyway, so it's a whole double room full of students. And so thank you to our students and to our faculty. for helping carry out this vision. Also attended the County of Santa Clara asked for a convening of leaders within the county on ways that we can ensure belonging for every single resident in Santa Clara County. I was able to participate in that convening. I'm also on the board for SEAC, FICMAT, and California ASCD, and so I had board meetings to attend. And this is also something new. Colegas is typically an organization for presidents of community colleges. And so there is a symposium that will be taking place at Santa Clara University with a nice blend of the Colegas organization with Santa Clara University. And they are trying to bring in K-12s. And of course, I would not be me if I didn't advocate for all of my students. And so I did ask for, I don't know, guaranteed admission for our students, or perhaps other programs. And so that was a lovely conversation and sweet, short and sweet. And happy summer, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garcia. Now move on to employee group reports. I believe only the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers would like to speak tonight. Is that correct? The other two groups? No. Okay, thank you.
Is it on? Yes?
You're good.
Okay, great. Well, good evening, board trustees, executive cabinet, and community members. My name is Kiwei Nguyen, and I am honored to be the elected president of the Morgan Hill Federation of Teachers. I want to give you all an update on my speech from the last board meeting. After that board meeting 2 weeks ago, the district and federation negotiations team had a meeting where essentially the only topic discussed was transitional kindergarten and transitional kindergarten assistant teachers. At this meeting, a side letter was agreed to that the federation believes will have a negative impact on the educational program of our youngest learners. But we agreed to it, not because we wanted to, but because we believed we had to. This was the only way we saw to save the jobs of the 10 plus first year TK assistant teachers I spoke about, still waiting for contract offers in my last time at the mic. I'm happy to report that they have since been provided these contracts, which was a part of this side letter agreement. And if the Board of Trustees does not already know, the district has an interest in replacing TK assistant teachers with paraprofessionals, like Courtney said. Making this change creates a different program, one where the second adult is not a TK assistant teacher, and therefore plays a very different role as a support in the classroom. One where the second adult is not provided the same schedule as a teacher, and therefore has a lack of fluidity of working alongside them to truly be a team. And one where the second adult is not able to collaborate to the same degree, and therefore lacks the same level of knowledge regarding the education, academics, and instruction that is to be provided. TK assistant teachers are able to PLT, plan, and prep with their TK teachers. They are able to assess learning and analyze data to assist in making decisions on next steps for instruction, and they are able to do so much more. They are currently collaborative partners for teachers, as well as another stable, familiar face for students and families. And this change is happening regardless of Federation leadership knowing that qualified TK assistant teachers play a pivotal role for the district's youngest learners. Interest-based bargaining requires making decisions that you can live with. While we can live with this, I don't believe we should have to. This was being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Being in a damned if we did and a damned if we didn't scenario. While I am unable to say for sure what impact this change will have, my prediction is that it will be one of a less cohesive partnership between teacher and assistant, a less substantial program for student academic learning and emotional support, and overall, not what is in the best interest of our district. And I signed off on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is H2, board member reports. Any members have a report to make? Oh, All right, we will go back to public comment. We have Mr. Ontorio back on Zoom. I guess he lost his connection earlier.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was muted before, so that's why I couldn't speak. Okay, 3 minutes. Here we go.
Please, your time has started. Please begin.
Hide and seek with the community again. Tonight, the multi-million-dollar budget is at the end of the agenda, hoping everyone goes home. 2 weeks ago, they did the same thing, and they did a 10-second flash vote in an empty room while completely ghosting the comments of the public. Please go watch that video. Retroactive votes of that nature are illegal. I told you so at the meeting. At the same meeting, the board president said, literally, we passed this item on a consent vote a year ago. You really ought to do it on a regular agenda, not on the consent. I'm not sure what they say that. And as a footnote, by them, he meant legal counsel. Think about that. You are the board president and you're openly admitting that you don't even know why state transparency laws apply. But you told the trustees to just go ahead and vote anyway. And then HR Superintendent Tavares tried to brush this off as a simple matter of ticking and tying. It was not. It was not a paperwork glitch. Like I said, this was their third strike. This was the third time that the district made misrepresentations in a state document. Of course, they knew it was illegal. They had been told by the commission, by the CTC, already twice that it was illegal. And because of that, twice before, the commission rejected those state documents. But the board president says he does not really understand why being told to repeat a consent vote is illegal. Really? Let me tell you why this is important. This is important because this illegal consent vote translates into 26 irregular teaching positions, most of them in high school teaching things like maths and sciences. Under Ed Code 45037, state funding clawbacks for using unpermitted staff are mandatory. In other words, if you're a school district and you're using unpermitted teachers, you gotta return the money. How much? Last year alone, maybe 8.5 million in penalty. And if we consider the multi-year exposure, that might be $30 million in penalty or more. That is nearly 65% of our entire teacher salary pool. This is a risk that the district has to account for in the budget. If the state pulls that money, your ability to pay contract wages next year is dead. And by the way, where is the teachers union on this? Because they did not oppose to that totally illegal retroactive vote during last meeting. So I'm asking this board straight up, where is the funding clawback reserve in the budget? I do not see it. Disclosing this information is not optional. Please respect the public and respond. And trustees, be responsible. Do your due diligence on this and do not vote this budget. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time. So now we'll return to H3, board member reports. Does anyone have activities to report? Trustee Altman?
We hadn't had the budget meeting before, did we?
That was the budget meeting was after our last board meeting.
The day after our last board meeting, we had a budget committee meeting. I came out of it a little more confused than going into it. But luckily we have another meeting scheduled for July 21st where maybe I'll get even more confused or a little more clarity. But I'll bring up the questions when we're talking about the budget.
Okay. Anyone else? Not here? Yeah. Clerk Marquez, please.
I'm part of the CAB, which is the Community Asset Builders Committee. And just one thing that I just wanted to share is there's going to be a 4th annual flag hanging for America's 250th birthday. So if anybody is interested, it is Saturday, June 27th. They're going to meet at 10 a.m. at the San Martin Post Office to hang flags out for the celebration. And I'll put the poster out or the flyer out in the front lobby. Anybody interested? Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have something, Trustee Gardner? Sure. I couldn't tell if you were signaling me or not.
I actually do, but I think I can wait until the budget comes up.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Anything over here? All right, a few activities to report on. The Santa Clara County School Board Association put on a candidate workshop this past weekend in combination with the Registrar of Voters. The first part was about an hour and a half, the Registrar of Voters explaining how to fill out the many forms involved in filing for candidacy. And then the second half was a panel discussion. And I was invited by the association, myself and 3 other experienced board members to just answer questions about campaigning and being on a board and and that. So a lot of discussion. There's also some feedback and questions from the audience. I'd say there were more than 50 and less than 100 people in the room. I didn't count it. There's a lot of folks interested in running. And I know a lot of people are, considering running around the county. We have 31 districts, so that there's anywhere from 2 to 4 seats, on the ballot in each of those. So it's a lot of positions and usually 2 people per. So a lot of people, a lot going on there. And also with the association, an officer there will be meeting again here in July. Well, we're supposed to be on vacation, but to start doing some planning for next year. Oh. That must have been for the last one. Anyhow, so if you have any thoughts on what you'd like to see the association doing in our county to continue to be useful to our local school boards, please let me know. Also with the association, the Legislative Action Committee, I've constantly spoken about the current version is Senate Constitutional Amendment Proposal 5, a mechanism to start addressing the underfunding of districts like ours compared to the extremely well-funded districts. I think of Carmel Unified at running up on $40,000 a student because they have a lot of expensive property and very few kids. But it looks like that is probably not going to be on the ballot this year. Probably that will push to 2028. And we also had a meeting today with 2 CSBA senior legislative advocates on that topic. How do we get there? Prop 98 is now 36 years old, right? And the disparity has only gotten worse in all that time. And it's something. Before I was on the board, I didn't understand that. Most people in the public don't understand that some districts get so much more than others. It's not right. It's not fair. It causes us to have experienced teachers. It's like, I'm going to go work in Palo Alto. It's like, I don't blame you. They got double the cash. So that's an ongoing effort. And then the last thing, the Silicon Valley Education Foundation has a summer program. Went to observe. Happily surprised to run into a class where, there she is. Teacher Munson was teaching, learned different ways to multiply 3 by 6. I think there were 4 or 5 different techniques, but anyhow, it was a very great program. And that program in particular is targeted at 3rd graders who have tested at not quite up to grade level. So the intention is to give them an extra 4 weeks in the summer to take and get them over the hump. And then also there they have, so that was for 3rd graders, and the other program was 5th through 8th grade, an introduction to computer science, teaching the principles of the kind of structured thinking that goes into programming, and they were also like building game boards out of cardboard. So it had in the computer and hands-on. It was really fun to see that. And then just quite as an aside, while I was there, I learned that Oak Grove's plan for a parcel tax. One of their trustees was there, and we were talking and said, well, they did all the stuff as far as community outreach, didn't poll well enough, and it looks like they'll probably not be moving forward with that on the ballot. And that concludes my report. Okay, calendar of upcoming events is posted, as is our practice. I won't read it to you. That's why it's written down. In section I, consent, Trustee Gardner, let us know. I1C, she'd like to pull for discussion. That's the only one who got ahead of time. Any other requests to pull an item? Okay, so do we have a motion to approve with the exception of I1C?
I motion to approve with the exception of I1C.
Thank you, Trustee Andrade. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Trustee Gardner, please call the roll.
President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis,
Aye.
Board Clerk Marquez.
Aye.
Trustee Altman.
Aye.
Trustee Gardner.
Aye.
Trustee Andrade.
Aye.
Trustee Munson.
All right, thank you. So now we will proceed to item I1C. Trustee Gardner, you had a question or comment?
So thank you, President Horner. I'm asked to pull this because it's been a while that we've gotten, to my knowledge or recollection, input on how much we've spent on legal. I know historically this district used to spend, I believe it was between 250 and 300,000 a year in legal fees. Is that correct to your recollection? Yeah. Yeah.
I certainly
Well,
don't
I
have
mean,
that. I don't know.
that's been what it was before you got here. Since you've got here, I remember
I
there
don't
was
know
one.
that's a fact or not. I mean, it's an assertion. I don't know that it's a fact. Unless
Well,
you have some
I
evidence.
believe that it is. So anyhow, then after you've gotten here, it was up to, I think, close to 900,000 one year. You're shaking your head no. Are we going to get, I would like to know what we spent last year in legal fees, and I'd like to make sure this is kind of like an ongoing thing that we get this information.
We can certainly let you know how much we spent. Yes. Don't have the information. You submitted this request about an hour ago, but I can ask the team and I can certainly share with the board the cost.
Okay, so we don't have any idea, like even remotely what it is?
Oh.
Yes, so actually for this year, as of to date, we've spent approximately $311,000.
Okay, and then do you happen to have last year in front of you?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get that report.
If we could make that comparison, that would be great.
If I may, our first call isn't to our lawyers. We certainly have these law firms to give us some counsel on various topics. And the role of the law firms is to essentially protect the district.
Oh, I understand all that, but I think it's interesting that you would say that because from what I understand, we were served a public records request, request months ago, and the person who served that still hasn't gotten hardly anything, I don't think, from us. Did get information from SCOE. And what I understand, though, is the correspondence between we're paying almost $400 an hour for an attorney with one of these law firms to answer the public records request. That seems like a bit much. Why aren't we paying a paralegal, or why aren't we having it done in-house?
So the item that was agendized to which you're speaking is the actual contracts. Now you're meandering into public records. So we do use attorneys for public records. We need to redact some documents, and that requires some legal advice. But the actual conversation is around the actual contracts. I just want to make sure that we're following the Brown Act and not talking about other things that were not agendized.
And that's fine. I'm going to probably vote no because I am concerned. I mean, there's stuff that's going on. For example, the Supreme Court case with Mahmoud versus Taylor, and I don't necessarily think we're getting the best advice from the law firms that we're working with. So that's my input. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion on this
Motion
item?
to approve this contract.
Thank you, Trustee Andrade. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Clerk Marquez. Please call the roll.
President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis,
Aye.
Board Clerk Marquez,
Aye.
Trustee Altman.
Aye.
Trustee Gardner.
No.
Trustee Andrade.
Aye.
Trustee Munson.
Thank you very much. We'll move to item J1, the annual Charter School Morgan Hill Oversight Review. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Jimenez will introduce the item.
Good evening, trustees. As part of their responsibilities as a charter authorizer, Morgan Hill Unified conducts an annual oversight review of Charter Morgan Hill to monitor compliance with the terms of the charter as and applicable laws, including fiscal and operational requirements. In your packet, you will see the letter that was sent to Charter School Morgan Hill with the report of that visit that occurred in February. Tonight, we have the board will hear the Charter School Morgan Hill's annual update that will include progress on accomplishments, priorities, and some things that they would like to highlight. I'd like to introduce Principal Susan Pfefferland to facilitate tonight's presentation.
Sorry, we don't have a snare drum to give you a drum roll or anything.
Good evening, trustees. Dr. Garcia. I want to thank you for having us for our annual presentation this evening. Next slide. There we go. I'm going to start just with some program highlights. We served 653 students this year. Project-based learning continues to be our primary, one of our pillars for sure, and our primary methodology. We also still continue to focus on our whole child philosophy and provide enrichment opportunities to serve the whole child. We also highly prioritize universal design for learning, and we continue to provide support for all students through a variety of measures, including our special ed services, MTSS, EL supports, and social emotional learning supports. Last but not least, we recognize the importance of family engagement, and that continues to be another one of our pillars. Next slide, please. We did have a rather large leadership transition this year. I think we briefly mentioned that last year when we were here. Paige Shashesky stepped down from the executive director role. She did serve this year as our CFO and has since announced her retirement, so she will be leaving us at the end of this month. I continued as principal this year, also stepped into the CEO role, and Jennifer Sten also continued as assistant principal. She also serves as director of special ed, so she oversees those special education and student services. Next slide, please. We are very pleased to announce that our construction has been completed. We opened this year our Agricultural Science Center. We also call it our barn, and it marks the last phase of the Prop 51 construction project. So our community is thrilled to report that. And our enrollment remains strong. We served approximately 72 students at each grade level, and we continue to have a wait list at every grade level. Next slide, please. So wanted to touch on some demographics, since that always is an important part of our presentation and discussion. Our EL population is at 2.4%, SED population 8.4%, and students with disabilities 11.3%. And although we recognize that those numbers are still below what they are in the district, we are making some inroads that we want to share. One method has been the weighted lottery, and SED students receive 2-to-1 balls, if you will, in the lottery. 10% of our lottery spots are automatically set aside for those students. We have really tried to increase our outreach efforts this year, and we have seen some growth in duplicated students. Next slide, please. So yes, the growth is small, but as you can see, we are making some progress. Next slide, please. Our lottery results this year compared to last year. Last year we had 3 SED students who applied and were confirmed as SED and took those reserved spots, and this year we had 6. Next slide, please. I mentioned targeted enrollment outreach. So we have a few different ways that we are focusing. In terms of EL, we have translated enrollment flyers. We have Spanish-speaking staff available during our tours, during our information nights. We have enrollment support for families that need it. We continue to promote inclusive programs and support systems. In terms of SED and low-income families, we're consistently emphasizing that we are a free public charter school and that enrollment assistance is available. This year, we really hit hard the distribution of flyers in neighborhoods with higher need populations. We also did some social media outreach that was new this year. We offer school tours every year for prospective families during each enrollment cycle. We have open enrollment nights, again, with staff available for one-on-one support or translation support. Already mentioned flyers and social media. Next slide, please. This year, we did request some partnership support from the district, and although we haven't made inroads, that still is an opportunity that we would love to explore, and that was inclusion on your website for promotion. And we have been in transportation discussions for the past few years about the district helping provide bus transportation for us, but we have been waiting for adequate hires in the district, and we know that that's been an issue. Wanted to share our dashboard, which we're feeling pleased about. We have all blue categories except for mathematics, which we are in the green, and that continues to be a focus area for us. Next slide, please. We did see some growth from 23-24 to 24-25 in our CASP scores. Again, we're still at 60% in math, and that will continue to be a focus for us in the coming year as well. Next slide, please. We also saw some growth with our students with disabilities and in our SED population. Next slide, please. So a little bit of growth here as well. Next slide. Just acknowledging the oversight visit this year and some of the compliance issues that we are pleased to get this feedback and are working to rectify some of these things that Julie pointed out for us. Next slide. We will be working on our charter renewal this summer. We plan to submit that to Morgan Hill Unified at the end of September. And then we will follow the timeline. You guys will have 60 days to hold the public hearing, and then we will hopefully wrap up sometime in the December-January timeframe. Next slide, please. Wanted to share just a few key points from our parent perception survey that we give every year. Next slide, please. Community continues to be one of the aspects that our families value about CSMH, our strong parent-school partnership, and just a place where families feel connected. They have asked for continued opportunities to expand family engagement and more ways for families to contribute to school life. Next slide, please. And also, they communicated that consistency, emotional safety, and belonging for all students is key. Next slide, please. Before closing, I just want to say that we appreciate the partnership. We feel that our partnership with Morgan Hill has really grown over the past few years. We've appreciated the support with IEP transitions from Morgan Hill School TK students into charter school, and as well with our 8th graders at Exit that are moving on to Live Oak and Sobrato. We have reached out to nursing services for help with our hearing screening. We have reached out to HR for different purposes. We are so grateful for Karina Sapien on our board. She is an incredible resource to us. We greatly appreciate Dr. Garcia taking time every year to visit our campus during World Read Aloud Day and make that a priority. We were thrilled to have a few board members attend our exit interviews this year and see our students showcase their portfolios. And so we are grateful for your partnership. And I would like to see if you have any questions.
Any questions, comments? Trustee Altman, please.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you find that family engagement changes much throughout the course of a student's time in particular? What's it look like in the middle school?
Definitely it changes over the course. In the younger grades, we have many parents who are in the classrooms and helping in that manner. As students move into middle school, parents are utilized often within project-based learning as experts coming into the classrooms and presenting or serving on panels as authentic audience members for projects. Also, I would say it kind of shifts to a broader campus participation, during families might serve during work days or putting together furniture, just different needs. They're definitely less involved in the direct classroom setting as the students get older.
Trustee Andrade?
Hi, Ms. Pfefferlin.
Hello.
First, let me say I've been in your classroom and you're a phenomenal educator. And my son had you, so huge growth under him. But I got to ask you some tough questions here. So can you name another public school in Santa Clara County that has the same demographics as Charter School of Morgan Hill?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Because I'm looking at the letter 8.4% compared to our 40.5% is incredibly alarming. And so that leads to my next follow-up question. And you don't have to answer these right now, but these are just, as I'm looking at the data and I'm processing, why 10% allocated and why not a higher number for SED? I know the applicants, you had 3 applicants this last time and SED applicants and they got admitted just 3.
That was last year. This year we have 6.
Okay. Why 10? How did you arrive at 10%?
That's a great question, and that happened a number of years ago. And so I would like to kind of gather some information on how that number was exactly decided.
Okay.
I don't think that we would be adverse to looking. I mean, we are open to taking feedback. We are working very hard to increase numbers. As I guys recognize, it's very difficult with the lottery system, and it's very difficult with kindergarten being pretty much the only avenue where families can get in.
Yeah, and the commute. It's an hour back and forth to get up there.
Yep.
As a former charter parent. Okay. One more question, maybe 2. And you don't have to. Do you know the percentage of exiting 8th graders that transferred to private school of the class of 2026?
I will get back to you on that.
Is 50% or
no? It's lower than 50%.
Lower than that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's it.
Trustee Marquez, please.
I may have missed it. Does Charter have TK?
We do not.
Is there a reason why you don't offer TK?
We, for a number of years, we obviously were not required to have it. When the time came, we entered into this huge construction project without that in mind. We do not currently have space or infrastructure. And in previous conversations with the district, it was confirmed that it is not a requirement for us.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. If you want, thank you. Good to see you again. It's good to see Prop 51 construction almost done. It's remarkable. I'm the only one up here who was up here when the necessary approvals were given. I remember that was quite a dramatic situation. But I'm glad the construction project is done. And, you know, the issue Trustee Andrade brought up is longstanding. And I've often, you know, to my friends in politics, describe myself as a charter moderate, which I think is a rare thing, but say, you know, y'all do a good job and you have an easier job than the vast majority of traditional public schools, just given, you know, for various reasons. But do thank you for the presentation. I know in the past there was a practice of your board president and vice president and this board's president and vice president having some conversations. That stopped. You know, I know it was quite a few years ago the last time, and for whatever reason, your board just kind of didn't have an interest for a while. So I know, particularly leading up to a renewals, those informal conversations can have value, and I would encourage you all to consider that again. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Good seeing you, and thank you for the very comprehensive presentation. And if we find some bus drivers, we'll let you know.
And yes, I am still mad that you were not my daughter's third grade teacher. I just want to let you know, I'm just still mad.
All right, that is not an action item. It was just presentation. Our next item, J2, is approval of curriculum adoption, extensive needs, categorical setting, special education. You'll recall we had a first read on this item at our prior meeting, and or a previous meeting. I don't know which one. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's all a blur. So Assistant Superintendent Jimenez will introduce this item.
Kim's already there. So.
All right, thank you.
Am I on? I can't.
Just start. It should be. Start talking. Let's see. You might have turned it off.
There we go.
There we go.
Dr. Garcia, trustees, thank you for having us again. My name is Kimberly Lubers. I'm the program coordinator for the Special Education Department.
Ashley Ramos Marquez, behavior analyst.
Ian Mills, K-2 SDC teacher.
On June 18th, we had the opportunity to present the elementary extensive support needs pilot process and the resulting recommendations. Since that presentation, no additional feedback or concerns have been received. Based on the outcomes and the committee's recommendations, we're requesting the approval of the unique learning systems as the district's adopted ELA and mathematics curriculum for our ESM population.
Thank you. I see trustees Munson and Munson, would you like to go first? Yeah. Okay. So trustee Munson is making a motion. Did you have a question or comment or?
No. Looks great.
Okay, so I'll take that as a second from trustee Altman, if that's fine. Please call the roll.
President Horner.
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis.
Aye.
Board Clerk Marquez.
Aye.
Trustee Altman.
Aye.
Trustee Gardner.
Aye.
Trustee Andrade.
Aye.
Trustee Munson.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. We're also here for the second time on the next item, the 2026-27 Local Control Accountability Plan, lovingly known as the LCAP. Assistant Superintendent.
I was going to say with 82 slides. But tonight, trustees, 2 weeks ago, we gave you a preview in the presentation of the LCAP, its goals, its objectives, and the actions, and the subsequent budget overview for parents, the local indicators, and the federal addendum. Tonight, we're coming back to report that one of the things that we do once we post the draft of the LCAP is we have a survey for community members or anybody else who would additionally like to provide feedback. And we had 3 people who asked questions, clarifying questions about collaboration time. There was a question there about teachers and special assignment. We know it's a really big document, and those questions have already been answered for those community members who provided those questions. And so tonight we're asking for your approval for the 26-27 LCAP budget overview for parents, local indicators, and federal addendum.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have a motion? And I'll look this way first. Trustee Allman.
I move that we approve the LCAP.
And Trustee Munson, I think, got ahead of you by a hair there for the second. Okay, please call the roll.
President Horner.
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis.
Aye.
Board Clerk Marquez.
Aye.
Trustee Altman.
Aye.
Trustee Gardner. Trustee Andrade.
Aye.
Trustee Munson.
Thank you. That carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Now we are on to item 4 in this section. Assistant Superintendent Chang will introduce the annual budget.
Thank you, President Horner. Similar to the LCAP, the districts presented the proposed budget at the last board meeting. There were no additional feedback that required any changes to the budget or the proposed budget. So tonight we respectfully request that the board approve the proposed budgets as presented at the last board meeting.
Trustee Gardner, I think you said you had some comments on this item. Was that correct? Or am I remembering it correctly? Or Almond, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have made notes.
That's okay. What I would like to see, and I think I asked for it last time, is the fiscal stabilization plan that I assume we're still supposed to be following, and how that's reflected in this budget. And things that confuse me, for instance, at the budget meeting, we were told we cut 8 staff members, but we hired 7 different staff members, which sounds to me like and I mean positions, not people, sorry, be clear. So did we do what we said that you said we were going to do for the fiscal stabilization plan, and how is that reflected in the budget?
Yes. So in terms of the previous fiscal stabilization plan that we presented the last year and a half or so, those items have been incorporated into next year's budget or even this year's budget. Moving forward, I think the questions that you were trying to get clarification on was the true up in terms of what we identified to reduce for certificated staff. But since that update, we identified additional needs because of logistic, because of program needs. And so we, in essence, have to, provided some additional certificated FTEs to provide accommodation to those needs. But we can go over the details at the Budget Committee meeting if that helps clarify your questions.
So without me flipping from budget to budget, are the expenses $2 million less for the proposed 26-27 budget?
Are you referring to the $2 million to be determined?
The one that had been determined moving forward.
The $2.168 million that was incorporated at second interim, or what that was identified as second interim?
Correct.
The majority of that have been incorporated. Position that was frozen, position that was shifted from unrestricted to restricted, position that was reduced. The only gap was the numbers of positions that we identified, certificated positions to be exact, to be reduced from the total FTE counts. But then we had to add back some positions to various school sites because of the needs at that school site, at those school sites.
So
is some of that TK or when you, I know we've.
Yeah, there's a couple of TK certificated positions that we added. One, I believe, at SMG and one at Walsh because of the uniqueness of the program itself.
And as positions are getting shifted to unrestricted and counting as cuts from unrestricted to restricted, and then that results in a decrease in expense on the unrestricted side, is the shift back as their funding sources run out, and all of those positions going to be returned to the unrestricted side, and is that all accounted for on the unrestricted side as the funding sources run out?
So the majority of the position that we shifted from unrestricted to restricted were related to the maintenance program. We have continuous funding source to fund those programs, and we don't see a need to transfer those positions back to the unrestricted in the foreseeable future. So whatever funding sources are available, in the restricted program will be able to cover those positions that were shifted.
But
So
I
there
thought
would
there were like 2.5 middle school APs who got, I don't see them as being at all expendable. Are they got moved to restricted side, so will they'll be coming back at some point to unrestricted? So those types of moves, are those accounted for in the
Yes, yes.
unrestricted MYP?
Yes, those are accounted for.
Okay, thank you.
Did that complete your question?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. On the restricted, unrestricted, maybe you can help me understand again. So the state every year has been issuing some of the money under Prop 98 as an unrestricted block grant. Does that actually show up in the unrestricted fund, or is it in the restricted funds, even though they call it unrestricted? I get very confused.
That's a great question. So I believe the one you're referring to is the student support, professional development, the one-time money. Those are, the revenues actually captured in the restricted general fund because it has a restricted resource assigned to it by the state. It's the wisdom of the state on doing business. And that's why we are spreading that one-time money over a 3-year period by transferring unrestricted expenditures to the restricted general fund to be able to utilize those funds.
So in some of the presentations, the state calls it an unrestricted block grant, but then it's restricted.
Correct.
No wonder I have a headache. Okay. Thank you. And they've done that now repeatedly, multiple years in a row, which
yes,
always creates, and I guess that's because they don't know if they'll keep doing it or not, but it creates this, what looks like a steep cliff, which so far the cliff hasn't heard. And I'll just say, this budget also still does not comprehend any raises because those are still a matter of negotiation, correct?
You mean local negotiations?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
not, it
Okay.
does not
Thank you.
incorporate any of those potential costs.
Are there other questions or comments?
Yeah.
Okay, Trustee Gardner?
Okay, so yeah, I was also in attendance for the Budget Committee, and I know that we kind of encapsulated what we were wanting to see July 21st. So one of the things, and maybe if you could provide feedback on this, was a position control report. Will that be available for us on July 21st?
Our team's
And maybe you
working
could
on that.
explain for the public what it is in the attempt that we're wanting to look at in relation to asking for that to be provided?
Yes, I believe the task that we were asked to do was to do a trend analysis in terms of different classification using position control. Just a caveat, we don't have those resources prior to Doris and I joining the district, so we'll do like a 2-year comparison at the best. But we're working on doing that analysis.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then the other thing that we talked about was the warrants. And I know that it was brought up that we're supposedly going to be discussing this at the August retreat, but I would like clarification as to, is this something that we're going to get access to, or is it something that there's going to be an attempt to potentially undermine that? Because I do want to see that, and I know that Gilroy regularly sees them, San Jose regularly sees them. So again, for the public, I'd like to get more clarity on that.
Was that
I
a
guess
comment or
we
question?
understand the comment and request. It's not-
The question, I guess,
it's
is
not specific to what's on this agenda item here.
what is the intention with regards to having that be shared?
We'll discuss that when we've agendized discussing warrants and who does or doesn't publish them and in what form, but that's not agendized at the moment. It is still an open item.
Okay. So I guess that's it for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trustee Andrade?
Motion to approve.
Okay, thank you for the motion. Do we have a second?
Can I ask one more question first,
Sure.
please? About what percent are we running in for the total budget for the 26-27 proposed budget? For what percent is going into salaries and benefits?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it varies from unrestricted versus restricted. But
That's why I asked for
on
the
the total, if you combine, it's about maybe 90%.
And what level are you comfortable with? I mean, it had always been hammered into us at negotiating 85. So at what point do we get nervous?
That's a good question. I mean, when we look at the budget, we look at the budget as a whole in terms of what we get in revenue and what we're spending out in expenditures. So we make those decisions based on a lot of factors, not just the level of percentage of salaries and benefits. So that requires a lot more analysis and discussion rather than just throwing out a number.
Okay, because that had been the standard and it had been discussed before, was aiming for 85.
Yeah. And things has changed over the years, right? I mean, with the implementation of LCFF and supplemental dollars, those automatically increase services that does not impact salaries and benefits. And so grants also does the same thing. So the changes in, the state's budget impacts locally, and we have to adapt and be flexible in those manners and change them as we require those changes to be made.
Okay. One more question or comment from Trustee Gardner.
Thank you for mentioning the grants, because that was another thing that I think that encapsulating the meeting, we were asking about some sort of reporting technique for the grants, and I think you shared you were working on that, or you and?
Yes, yeah. We're working on identifying positions which are already captured in our proposed budget and the multi-year projection, but we'll provide you the details in terms of expiring grants, either happening in year 27, 28, or 28, 29 that are being moved back into the unrestricted general fund.
Okay, thank you. And it's a reasonable expectation that we'll get those on the 21st. Correct?
Yeah, that should be.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second? I'll second so we can keep moving. Please call the roll.
President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis,
Aye.
Board Clerk Marquez,
Aye.
Trustee Altman,
Because I don't fully understand it, I abstain.
Trustee Gardner,
Unfortunately, I feel I have to abstain as well.
Trustee Andrade,
Aye.
Trustee Munson,
Okay, that motion passes with 5 ayes, pardon me. Okay, we're down to our final item. We're moving right along tonight. Consideration of approval of amendment in terms of the superintendent's employment contract. We have one request for public comment, I believe, on this. Cindy Ramirez. Welcome back. I see you brought your friend, phone a friend.
Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa directiva. Mi nombre es Cindy Ramírez. Primero que nada, quiero agradecerles el tiempo, el compromiso y el trabajo que cada uno de ustedes dedica a nuestro distrito. Sé que no siempre es fácil tomar decisiones y que estamos viviendo momentos muy complejos, tanto por la situación económica como por todo lo que está enfrentando nuestra comunidad. Como madre, promotora y líder comunitario, he tenido la oportunidad de trabajar muy de cerca con el distrito durante los últimos años. He visto avances importantes en la comunicación con las familias, en la participación de los padres y en la disposición para escuchar a la comunidad. Claro que todavía hay mucho por qué hacer, pero también es importante reconocer lo que sí se ha logrado. Gran parte de ese trabajo ha sido posible gracias al liderazgo de la doctora Carmen García, trabajando de la mano con esta mesa directiva. Por eso, me gustaría que ese trabajo pudiera continuar. La estabilidad y la continuidad del liderazgo son importantes para seguir construyendo sobre lo que ya se está avanzando. También quiero pedirles que al tomar las decisiones para el próximo ciclo escolar, siempre pongan en el centro a nuestros estudiantes, nuestras familias y el bienestar de toda la comunidad, más allá de cualquier diferencia. Ese debe seguir siendo nuestro objetivo común. Muchas gracias por escucharme y gracias por seguir trabajando por nuestros estudiantes y nuestras familias.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, members of the Board of Education. My name is Sandy Ramirez. First of all, I want to thank you for the time, commitment, and work each of you dedicates to our district. I know that making decisions is not always easy and that we're living through very complex times due both to the economic situation and everything our community is facing. As a mother, community advocate, and leader, I have had the opportunity to work very closely with the district over the past few years. I have seen significant progress in communication with families, in parent engagement, and in the willingness to listen to the community. Of course, there is still much to be done, but it is also important to acknowledge what has been achieved. Much of that work has been made possible thanks to the leadership of Dr. Carmen Garcia, working hand in hand with this board. That is why I would like to see that work continue. Stability and continuity in leadership are important for the building of progress that's already been made. I also want to ask that when making decisions for the upcoming school year, you always place our students, our families, and the well-being of our entire community at the center, beyond any differences that must remain our common goal. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for continuing to work for our students and our families.
Thank you very much. All right, this item is a very simple modification of the superintendent's contract. When a superintendent, and this has been true for Dr. Garcia and her two predecessors, in my experience, receives a net satisfactory rating from the board, the contract calls for extending it an additional year. So the amendment, there are paper copies out front if anybody wants them, but it really, literally the only change is to say the district hereby employs superintendent for a period of 4 years, beginning on July 1, 2026. Used to say 2025, and terminating on June 30th, 2029, or 2030, used to say 2029, unless terminated earlier or extended as provided by the terms of this agreement or as allowed by law. And this was also described in closed session to the board, but so here we have it. Do we have a motion on this item?
I so move.
Thank you. Trustee Ullman? Thank you for the second. Trustee Andrade, please call the roll.
President Horner,
Aye.
Vice President Northrop Gaddis,
Aye.
Board Clerk Marquez,
Aye.
Trustee Altman, Trustee Gardner,
Abstain.
Trustee Andrade,
Aye.
Trustee Munson.
Okay, thank you all very much. We're on our last item, future agenda items, and the last time we did this, it was late and I was tired. I didn't remember to do the discipline of any request that requires significant staff time. We actually need to make sure at least four or more people want that. And I'll also remind us that the previous requests are captured in the list, which you all should have received Monday or Tuesday with the Tuesday with the superintendent's questions. So with that preamble, are there any additional items to bring up at this time? Trustee Altman? Yeah.
This is more of a statement. I'm looking at 7:14. We could have had something else on this agenda. So I'd like to work on moving more, like some of the discussion items into the agenda.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Seeing and hearing none at 7:14, we are adjourned.
Cool.